Esk8 squad, what is going on? We are back. Feels good to be back. So look, I have two electric longboards. An Evolve Gen 2 Bamboo and an Evolve Bamboo GTX. And I just wanted to show you what the wear and tear looks like after a few months / years. Roll the clip. So probably the most noticeable thing is that the gold badges and the gold motors start to fade and they start to corrode a little bit, but that's fine by me. Like that the aesthetics don't really affect me. Plus it kind of looks like it's got that rusty rat rod look, so I'm okay with that. Now this looks like a vinyl wrap, but it's actually just black duct tape. When I went to the hardware store, they only had big pieces of black vinyl wrap, but right next to it was black duct tape, and it was only $5, and I thought, you know what, why not, let's give it a shot. And it actually works pretty well. For some reason, I think it keeps the motors cooler. I don't know why, but it just does, because when I go riding with my mate, my motors just seem to stay a little bit cooler than his does, and he doesn't have any kind of wrap on his motors. Or maybe it's just because I weigh less than him, I don't know. The worst is probably just the battery cover. We take it to the BMX track, and it bottoms out on the bigger jumps, and yeah, again, it doesn't really bother me. It looks pretty bad, but at least we're having fun. You can always get a new battery cover anyway. The trucks are pretty good. Barely any scratches on there because I always ride with all-terrain wheels. I just haven't been bothered to put the street wheels on. All-terrains are just a lot more comfortable, a lot more clearance. So I've done about somewhere between 200 and 300 kilometers on the GTX. The belts are good, haven't had to replace them yet. The rear tires, they're slowly starting to wear out, but they're still better than the MBS and the Tramper tires. For wear anyway. The front ones are still good. The screws that hold the motor on the motor mount, they are starting to rust. I'll probably just replace them with stainless or whatever. It's no big deal. Also, I live near the ocean, so maybe that's why I'm getting more corrosion on my motors and getting more rust on my screws. I don't know. So this is the Gen 2. I currently have Tramper tires on here. As you can see, they're pretty bald. I've rotated them as well. And this is probably between 100 and 150 kilometers, and they just wear out really quickly. This one here is the worst for wear. This was the wheel that was on the drive gear, but I've rotated it now and it's up the front. The trucks are good. You can't really see the scratches on these trucks anyway because they're not painted. So the screws on the Gen 2, most of them started to rust, especially the ones on the motor here. I replaced them with stainless, and so far so good. And these ones here, they were all rusting too, and I replaced all of those as well. Also, the spray-on grip on the Gen 2 has it's rubbed off a little bit, but that's alright. Like, I feel like I'm still glued to the board. You know, you still get good traction on there. Your feet don't feel like they're gonna slip off because of the concave, so it's not that big of a deal either. So the Gen 2 has held up pretty well over the years. I've had it for almost 2 years, and besides the rusty screws, like, it still looks pretty good, it goes good, and yeah. As for the GTX, the corrosion and the fading on the gold, you know, I honestly don't mind. Like, as long as it performs the way that it should, then yeah, no problem for me.